Hello and welcome to my final report video of my Blender self-education project for the honors program at Morehead State University. The first thing that I did in this project for the first week was just modeling just really basic objects. I started with a basic desk, and then I went to a more complicated desk, and then, as you just saw, I did a little top hat model. Then I moved on to just adding some basic textures to those basic models. They're not complex at all. They're mostly just colors and some variations on how reflective the surfaces are, and they're all done with the principled shader, which has it compiles a lot of those aspects. Then I moved on to sculpting. So this is a modeling technique that I decided to exercise. At first I did a bagel, then I moved on to this gummy bear, and I also messed a little bit with the materials to try to make it a little bit translucent. Then I did some character modeling. This is a little cartoon dinosaur that I started making with sculpting. I tried many different brushes, and you can see some of the results here. Then I decided to give a shot at my first attempt at modeling a human head, and I think I'm really satisfied with this first attempt. I think it looks pretty good. It's a compilation of a lot of sculpting techniques. There's lots of brushes that went into this, and as you can see here, many different angles. It was just, a good way to exercise everything I learned about sculpting. Next, we are looking now at some environments and scenes. Those do require a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of, those designs. As you can see, there's a monitor, there's the desk fan on this particular, office desk scene. I decided to model my own and design my own objects instead of getting some online pre-made. I think it would be more of a learning experience if I did it all myself. Here's another scene. This is more of a dining area with a stage, kind of like a pizzeria. You have all those seats, you have tables, and you can see the stage right there and some of the lights. So now we're moving on to character modeling. The character that I decided to do was an endoskeleton of an animatronic mascot inspired in the franchise Five Nights at Freddy's. This is my first endoskeleton model that I did. I was pretty satisfied with it, but I thought I could do a little bit better. So you're going to see next that I did a second attempt at it. I mostly just changed the head a little bit, and I think it looked much nicer. There you go. You can see now the second endoskeleton for my character. The way this character works, it has an endoskeleton, and then it has like an outer, mascot suit, kind of a shell that would actually, give the shape of the dinosaur. In this case, it's a Spinosaurus. And so, first I modeled the endoskeleton. As you can see, there's many little details, and now you can finally see the actual character, the dinosaur. This is going to be a mascot for whatever entertainment location this is, and you can see that the head was made using sculpting, which I previously talked about. I think it turned out really good. I like the hands. I'm very satisfied with the feet, as you can see now. It took a lot of work, and I'm just showing you right now here that the endoskeleton is always inside of that suit. It's part of the model. The model itself is very detailed. There's lots of character models out there that they're less detailed than this, but I just wanted to make sure that it was a decent level of detail. Now I'm trying to show you. Now I moved on to putting materials on those objects that constitute the character design. You can see the metal. Some parts are more reflective than others. Trying to simulate a very realistic metal material. You can see some more details on other materials here. This black material is more like a like a grainy plastic material. Then you can see, some of the mechanisms. I try to make it somehow believable, even though those parts, they wouldn't actually work in real life. But as long as you look at it and it makes sense, it has some complexity to it. I also chose a color to my mascot. I chose orange as the main color. Now we're moving on to materials for the scenery. You can see here all of the materials that I made are procedurally generated. I'm showing now the nose tree. You can see it's all made with math, so it was a lot of learning to be able to do that. You can see the leather material on the cushions of the seats. Those are not images that I projected on the object. Those are they are actually made with patterns and math. And I think that's pretty cool. That's the material for the floor, for the chest tile floor. That's more simple than, for example, the leather material. Some are more simple, some are more difficult. This wooden tile was very, very complicated, but it turned out really good. I think it's very photorealistic, and it suits well. This is another example of an environment that I made. It's more of a maintenance room for the animatronics, for the robotic parts. There was a lot of materials and little objects, involved in this. I think the result was really good. You can see the leather material being applied to the other seats there. You can see that design of the lamp. I made that myself as well. Everything in the scene was made by me. You can see the trash can with the grid. Now the cylindrical tanks, they have the materials as well. The paint is kind of coming off a little bit. And now you can see a little bit with the lighting, how the scene turned out. I like it a lot, and you can mess with the lighting and make it, as good as you want it. This is another scene that I decided to experiment with the animation a little bit, and so, I animated the fan blades. And it, you have some pieces of paper on the desk, you have a, soda cup, a pencil. I just developed it a little bit more, and very soon you're going to be able to see the result of the animation itself. And again, I think it looks really, there you go, you can see the animation now of the fan spinning. Now we're moving on to the final stretch of my project, which was rigging the character with inverse kinematics. Inverse kinematics, as you can see right now, it allows you to move that armature of bones that will tell where the objects should be and how they should be rotated, but in a way that it's realistic, like real bones would move in real life. If you move the foot, the whole leg is going to react to it. It's not just the foot, so you don't have to move just the foot, then like the first segment of the leg, then the other. It all moves naturally and fluidly like that, as you can see right now. And I can pose my character in any way I want, and it'll stay that way, and that is very fundamental for animating any kind of thing. As you can see now, I can just hide the armature, and the character stays in that pose, and animation, goes from there. You just do lots of different poses, and you put the keyframes in the correct time, and then you get a very nice animation. As you can see here, this is the final result of my animation for this character. You can see that I animated the tail. I'm very happy with how the tail movement turned out, and overall how the entire character moves. There's a lot of detail that goes into also animating. You have to make sure the movements are as natural as possible, and I think I was able to achieve that with this one. And here's the final result of the rendered animation with the lighting and everything, and that pretty much concludes my project. It was a lot of learning. It was a lot of experimenting. It was a lot of work as well, but I think it turned out really good, and I'm very proud of this project. So thank you for watching, and bye.